Hey everybody, got a new video for you today. But before I do, I want to thank all of you for your prayers last night on my wife coming home during the severe weather we were having. I want you guys to know I didn't put any of that stuff up just for views or anything like that. I put it up because I was genuinely concerned. My wife got across the causeway and got on her route to our house just in the right time. The spotters were out. They were blocking the road. There was a tornado that did touch down literally like right after my wife passed that area. It took out two farms, couple houses, two farms. In the Tipton area, that's very, very sad because when a tornado hits your house, you lose everything. So those farms have lost everything and they need your prayers. I don't know who the families were at this point. But anyway, I appreciate you guys' prayers very much. It's just part of living in Tornado Alley. It's the way it is. That's why I tell people to prepare, prepare, prepare. We have to do the same thing here in this house. Now, I wouldn't post videos like that if I wasn't seriously concerned that there was a problem. I mean, honestly, if I thought a tornado was going to hit our house or it was in our town, I would tell you guys because I would want your prayers. So I did that because I wanted your prayers, not to just stir things up on my channel. Okay, I just wanted you guys to know that. All right. So today we're going to talk about how to get started in prepping and be successful at it. I created a bunch of notes here, typed them up so I could follow them, and wanted to share those with you. I think it'll be helpful. I know for a fact that I have some preppers that are new to prepping on my channel that have been asking questions, so I think this may be helpful. Hopefully. So, here we go. All right. First and foremost, don't mean to be rude. Stop making excuses. Stop making excuses of why you can't prep. I'm just too broke. I can't do this, can't do that. All right. I've heard it before. I think I'm as broke as the next guy, if not more so. We definitely have our struggles financially. So, don't make excuses. There's still things you can do. So let's continue. All right, start by doing something. Don't know where to start? Do something easy like a week's worth of water. Start by putting a week's worth of water away for every member of your family. You can do that. That's not hard. You can certainly do that. If you need to take it out of your faucet and that water is okay to drink, then take it out of your faucet and put it in containers. Just remember, if you use something like a milk jug that's not BPA safe, then you don't want to leave it in that jug for more than 6 months, okay? So that's a start. Start by stocking up on water for your family. That's doing something, right? Always do something. All right, let's move on. As long as you're doing something, you'll be better off than most people who do nothing at all. That's a fact. Then put aside a week's worth of food for your family. Now, in most cases, this goes to whoever does the cooking and the grocery shop buying. The food buying at the grocery store. My wife. Okay. Now I cook meals on the days that the kids are gone and my wife is gone. I cook the meals at night before my wife gets home so she doesn't have to do it when she gets home because she's tired, and I'm home. So I cook the meals. But I don't plan them and I don't prepare them. So whoever's doing your planning and preparing for your meals, that individual should come up with a week's worth of food for your family. You can do that. It's not hard. Write out a list. Write down everything you need for meals for 1 week for your family. My wife has done it. I know it's not tough. And you just sit down, take one day at a time, think of the meals you need and the items you need for those meals. Okay? Now, when you do that, think of food that is something you can keep in storage on your shelf that has a good shelf life. Okay? You do want to avoid foods that are processed foods, okay? But think of food that you can store on your shelf for a lengthy period of time. So a week's worth of water and a week's worth of food, that's a start. That's a big start. That's the most important thing you can do to start, okay? Next, I would say don't concentrate on just one specific area. It's easy to do that. It's easy for me to do that. You don't really want to do that. You need to do a little bit in all the areas that are necessary. Otherwise, you'll have mountains of food and water and you won't have any medical supplies. Or you'll have mountains of medical supplies and no food and water. So you need to not concentrate all your thought and your preparation in one specific area, okay? Like guns and ammo. We all need guns and ammo. But if all I did was load up my safe and load up the other areas we have to put that in our house, I wouldn't have food, water, or anything else. So the next thing you want to do in beginning to prepare, to prep, is work at getting your bills paid off. Get out of debt. That's very, very important, okay? Very important. When you have mountains of debt, you don't have any money left over to buy preps, okay? So work on getting out of debt. One of the things I want to suggest to you is that, okay, like on our car payment, we only have one payment that we make out of. My house is paid off. I've paid it off. So we only have a car payment. But on that car payment, we don't pay just the monthly payment as a minimum. In other words, I forget actually what our payment is right now, but let's just say it was, I'll throw out a figure, $350 a month. Okay. If the car payment was $350, we would pay $400. Okay. Or we would pay $370, something like that. Do you realize, if you don't realize, I want you to realize, putting an extra $20 a month on your car payment knocks down the interest considerably, because you're chipping away after the payment. That's going toward the principal. As that principal drops, that interest rate drops considerably as well. Not the rate, but the amount of interest you've been accumulating, or you would accumulate. That drops considerably. We've been through this with several creditors, and we found that to be very true. So if you can swing an extra $20 or an extra $10 a month more than your minimum payment, and I'm using your vehicle as a example, then do it. It's very, very beneficial. It might not sound like a lot, but I'm telling you, over the term of the loan, it adds up quickly, and it reduces your interest considerably over time. So think about that. Don't pay just the minimum payment. If you can do a little more, do a little more. It really doesn't matter if it's $5, $10, $15, $20 a month. Do it. You'll be glad you did. Our very first car that we did that on was only $5 a month. That's all we paid more than the actual payment. And in doing so, we were shocked at the end of the first year what a difference that made. It sounds like nothing, but it does make a difference. So, because you're not really looking at that $5 specifically. It's not just that $5. It's that $5 chipping away at the principal and dropping the interest amount, because the principal is lower. So it's important. Okay. So anyway, get out of debt. That's my next thing for you that's very important. Okay, the next thing I would encourage you to do is to get some first aid, some medical supplies put aside. Okay, you can do that. Depending on what you have to spend, if you're really struggling financially, then I would say, okay, go to Walmart and buy a first aid kit. If you can buy more than one first aid kit, buy more than one first aid kit. Just remember, as you use the supplies that are in that kit, they need to be replenished. But at least it's a start. Would I like everyone to have a trauma bag? Yeah, absolutely. I wish everyone had a trauma bag or a high quality medical bag. But if all you can do is a first aid kit, then do a first aid kit. That's very important. So let's not be silly about it and not do it. Well, I can't get a medical bag, so these boo-boo kits aren't going to do any good. Well, your children might think they will, even if you don't. First aid kits are good to have. Definitely get some stuff like Neosporin or something, some type of antibacterial cream to go along with your first aid kits. Okay, you can do that. That's very simple. I'm trying to give you ideas of what to do to start prepping. It's not difficult. Even a little bit at a time is better than doing nothing. Okay, I would encourage you to set up a home security system. Now, I'm not necessarily saying go out and buy video cameras, okay, and a DVR unit. I'm not saying you have to do that. I would encourage you to do that. Very important. But you don't have to do that. That doesn't encompass everything for security. You can do things like what I've suggested. I've put some videos together about protecting your home against break-ins. I put a video about prepping in the city. Watch those videos. Doing the things that are in those videos are steps towards security that are important, and they are helpful, very helpful. They're not a waste of your time. Okay, so work on home security. With that said, I got to throw something out. I mentioned in one of my videos a while back, gosh, I'm 10 minutes into this already, a while back that I had these cameras from Nest. Dropcam is where they started from, and then Nest bought out Dropcam, and then now Google has bought out Nest. So my security cameras that I have that are be able to access them remotely off of the internet from a distance, I have strong feelings about Google running or owning the company that does my webcams. So if you have Nest webcams, I would suggest you get something different. I'm not using my Google webcams now. I don't trust Google. I can't. They've proven themselves non-trustworthy too many times over. So my webcams I have now are unplugged, and they have little washcloths over them, because even though Bluetooth is only good for 30 feet, about that, they are Bluetooth as well. And I have not figured out why they show up under all my Bluetooth devices, but I can't log on to them. So I don't trust Google, so Nest Cam stuff is over for me. I would suggest you get wired, not wireless, wired security cams if you can afford to go that route. Okay. Weatherproof your doors. Put weatherproofing around your doors and your windows if you can. If you know that you have small leaks through the edge of the door when the door closes, and you feel air by putting your hand along the area where the door first opens, that crack in the door. If you feel air coming through there, cold air through there, then get some door seal and put a seal around your doors. Might not sound like a lot, but in the winter, especially if you're in a cold weather area, that is a lot. And that wastes a lot of heat by allowing cold air to come blowing into your house. So do that. That's a step toward your prepping that is important. Prepping is more than food and water.